Business is a reflection of who we are inside. Inherently, that also speaks about us viewing business in a different light, viewing business more in a holistic sense, in which we are a part of to contributing to the larger society in more meaningful ways. I wanted to come on here today to talk a little bit about business. I see so many entrepreneurs, startup founders, even consultants that are excited about, solving a problem for their clients. We go to market with a sense of excitement to kind of, make a mark in the world, so to speak, to finally step into the sense of purpose almost. If you are a startup founder right now that is a little bit down the road, you started like this, right? You started with a sense of excitement, with a sense of that is something that really feels right? And so we go to market in that way. And what I see a lot happening is that, 2 years down the road, as we build a team, right? As we identify the problem we are solving, as we identify the solution we are offering, as we found a product market fit, identified a client acquisition strategy that works well, and we suddenly see clients come in. Over time, we get caught up in the doing of things, right? Get caught up in the game, get caught up in the money making, get caught up in the growing the team, right? Expanding, scaling, looking at Series A funding and so on, bootstrapping. And I feel like we are losing the bigger picture of what business actually is about. And so let's have a conversation about this. If it comes to me and you have a maybe different stance on this, or you may align with this, but business to me is much more than contributing to a few shareholders, right? Or to enriching you, or to allowing you to live a certain lifestyle. This is very internally driven, right? And even though that's fine, even though the head has its place, it is your driving force, it is that propels you forward, which is absolutely fine. Though I see startups right now facing the challenge that if that is the only reason for existing, that is not anymore sufficient, right? And in my point of view, we need to start looking at business from an angle that says, how can we use business, the movement of startups, the contributing to the society through our services and love and effort we have put in, how can we view this business to be a force for good that contributes to all stakeholders in equal ways, including the environment that we live in. Business is not there to just enrich you. Business is not there just to keep you busy and away from actually sitting down and contemplating about what we should be contemplating on, which is kind of intrinsically driven, right? Sometimes we run away, right, from getting busy with business, run away from obligations, run away from pain and all that. Business is a reflection of who we are inside. Inherently, that also speaks about us viewing business in a different light, viewing business more in a holistic sense, in which we are a part of to contributing to the larger society in more meaningful ways. Again, the question I'm posing here is, how can we all use business as a force for good, as a tool to be a force for good that contributes to vendors, to staff, of course, to yourself, to your family, to your loved ones, to the environment? In other words, how can we use the capitalistic movement, so to speak, to be heroic about this, heroes without a cape, in which we focus on, a more holistic perspective of what business actually is about. I see a lot of startup founders facing the challenge 2 years, 1 year, 3, 4, 5 years down the road of why do we actually exist? What's the reason why? And usually what I see happening is that actually it's not a question that we ask ourselves intrinsically. It actually comes from the outside in, as in our staff. We realize our staff need more of this. Our staff need to feel a sense of belonging. They want to matter. They want to be listened to. They want to know that they are part of something bigger than just making money and profits. And yes, it's a huge part of it, but what can we do with the profits that contributes to the larger society and environment that we can be a conduit for, right? That's the question here we are posing. Nowadays, post-COVID and so on, I just don't feel anymore it's sufficient for companies, startups to losing the focus of what got you into creating business in the first place. It was this excitement, this passion around doing something that we lost along the way. And I think we need to invigorate this again. And it may start with people, with your staff, with your people, with yourself, right? To then expand from there, where we ask the question, how can we align the soul within our company to reinvigorate this, to rediscover this, to understand what the why is, to understand what our mission and vision is. And so for us to be able to communicate this vision and this soul within the company to our vendors, to our staff, because we intrinsically understood why we're here for, what the business stands for. And the lack of it, us not being able to understand that ourselves and what the business really is there for, to do beyond just making cash, is the very reason why we cannot communicate that soul and that purpose and that vision to your staff, right? Which inherently means they lack this feeling of belonging. They don't recognize them mattering within your company. They may even not feel listened to because we're just running around like a headless chicken trying to get things done. And that ultimately ends up in staff leaving the company and us bearing a huge cost of staff fluctuation that really is preventable in a larger context and a larger degree altogether. So something really to contemplate here. I hope this little message here resonated with you. If so, feel free to subscribe, to like, to connecting with us as a movement of do good, of how do we do good in the world. And my name is Seb Wichmann, tuning out. Take care.